Purpose, and today I have the absolute pleasure to introduce you to Lisa from McLaughlin Experiences. For many, many years I have had a passion for the Dalai Lama and his teachings, and also when I first started in the travel industry many, many years ago, 30 plus, I was working for a woman who used to every year go to Kashmir, and she'd come back with these incredible stories about being on a houseboat and how amazing it was up there. And I've always had this dream of going, and unfortunately with all the political unrest it was closed for many years. Then one day, as you do, you're going through bits and pieces, and something landed on in my email box, and it was from McLaughlin Experiences, and it was the Kalachakra festival with the Dalai Lama in Kashmir, and I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. So I quickly picked up the phone and I rang Lisa, and Lisa mentioned about the tour that she'd put together, how she'd put it together, and I was hooked. So let me introduce you to Lisa Pagnotta. Is that right, Lisa?
Almost.
Yeah, I hope I got it right. Almost. I'm an Italian. I should know, shouldn't I? But I'd like to introduce you to Lisa, as I said, just to let you know a little bit of why she chose this particular festival. She's actually just returned from Kashmir, and so she has a real passion for it as well. So Lisa, welcome, and it's going to be so good to go through this with you.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, so as Nilla said, my name's Lisa. I work for McLaughlin Experiences. Just to give you a little bit of background on our company, firstly, I suppose, our touring division has actually been running for 8 years. Probably better known for our sister company, Matt McLaughlin Battlefield Tours. The McLaughlin Experiences branch opened up in May this year. I've spent almost the past 2 years building and developing what I think is an absolutely fantastic product. What we basically do is travel that's outside the box, full of unique experiences that really aren't on offer by any other operator within Australia and New Zealand. And our tours are categorised into 6 different categories, with one of them being culture and festivals. The festivals that we focus on aren't your stock standard beer fest, La Tomatina sort of things. They're really culturally based festivals that inspire a lot of travellers. As I mentioned before, very unique, and are really for those people that just have a passion for life, basically, for travel and for the different culture and experiences that you can experience when you're traveling on our fantastic planet. So also, as Nilla said, I have recently just returned from Kashmir myself. I was lucky enough to have 3 weeks over in India in September, and when I returned, we already had a Kashmir product, but I wanted to be able to expand it further, and our fantastic ground operator over there came to me and asked what I thought about this festival that we've got with the Dalai Lama in July next year. And so I did a little bit of research with him, and together we thought this was the absolute perfect fit for the style of product that we offer. And yeah, fantastically, Nilla's picked up the product and is happy to promote it for us, and I'll go through the itinerary in further detail. But just to be able to sell Kashmir, this part of the world is just so beautifully untouched, just not like anywhere else in India, not like anywhere else in the world. So I'm really, really happy to be able to share my experience from when I went there just recently, as well as take you through this fantastic itinerary that we've put together for Nilla exclusively.
Awesome, Lisa. Thank you so much, and that's what I'm wanting to achieve as well with Travel with Purpose, is, as Lisa mentioned, just to try to find things that are different, things that push your boundaries, and you can make a difference in your life and also in the lives of others. So I'm really, really excited about being able to escort this incredible tour that Lisa and McLaughlin Experiences have put together. So I'll invite Lisa now to go through the itinerary and just give you a little bit of a taste of what we can expect and the incredible experiences that we're going to have in one of the most beautiful, beautiful parts of the world. When you see some of the slides of the scenery, it's breathtaking. So Lisa, thank you so much. And if you want to start tintillating our taste buds and our excitement to go to this part of the world, let's start.
Okay, let's go.
This is a great quote, isn't it?
I know, it's
From
beautiful. It's
Mark Twain.
India in itself. India is it's just absolutely like nowhere else on the planet. Very, very,
Yeah.
very unique. So
It's something I've always wanted to go, but I've not had the opportunity
you'll
to
go and
date. So let's make it happen.
yes, you'll become addicted. You'll want to go back and explore more and more. So I suppose I'll just start off with the basics. I suppose for India itself, I mean, a lot of people have a lot of question marks about India in their head, but to me, it's one of the most, or it is to me the most fascinating country on the planet. For people who don't have too much of a background on India itself, really the things that it's famed for are things like the River Ganges up in Varanasi, Bollywood films, of course the food and spices, the aromas, the unusual food types. You get to experience a whole lot of bartering and bantering in local markets. You get masses of fresh produce, and just everything in India is fresh and it's cheap and it's just absolutely delicious and just can completely overload your senses. India itself is actually a cultural hotpot with it's got mind-bending diversity, and there will be absolutely nothing that will ever fully prepare you for the amazement that this country offers. It has the ability to inspire you, absolutely frustrate you to your wits' end, thrill you and confound you all just in a matter of hours. It really is a country that will arouse and assault all the senses. It's got a huge
Sounds
gathering.
amazing.
Yeah, it is. It really, really is. And it's got a huge gathering of history and a mix of so many different religions and cultures that will just absolutely blow your mind. It's got the bureaucracy that will just even challenge the hardest traveler's sanity. It's just one of those countries that just throws everything at you. But I suppose the most important thing to remember is that India really is one of the most incredibly unique places in the world. And it's just going to give you so many memorable memories and experiences that you'll bring home and share with other people. The good news is, though, that you can get around all the frustrations that India does throw at you, which of course all builds part of your experience, but by travelling with one of our expert guides on this exclusive itinerary that we've put together for Nilla. So I suppose
actually that's a really good point, actually, Lisa, and I'd like you to embellish a little on that.
Sure.
Is the fact that people do have their apprehensions of India.
Yes.
However, going with an experienced company like yourselves, the frustrations are eliminated to a certain degree, are they not?
Yes, definitely. I mean, one of the biggest challenges, India, even just arriving in the airport, is a culture shock in itself. And I mean, I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself. When I first went to India, it would be probably about 5 years ago now, and I just remember arriving in Delhi airport thinking, I thought, wow, this is absolutely amazing. Look at this chaos. This is unreal, and I loved every second of it. When I went back this year, because I already knew what to expect, I just sort of looked past it, just went with the flow. But my husband, who was traveling with me at the time, it was his first time to India, and I was quite intrigued to see his reaction to it, because he had a lot of hesitations about going to India. I kept pushing him because I kept telling him how absolutely fantastic the country was. And he was culture shocked initially. But as soon as we had our local guide with us and our driver, his tension and nerves, I suppose, just sort of faded away, because he had a local with him. He had somebody with him that spoke the language, somebody who could, assist him if he needed. And just having that local contact makes such a huge difference. There's no way that I would ever really recommend a first-timer traveling to India independently. I would always suggest to at least have a local guide, because they know the areas in and out. They're going to take you to places that are safe. They're going to take you to areas that are safe to eat. Obviously, the health is a huge issue in India. So many people are paranoid about things like Delhi belly and, just getting stomach bugs and that sort of thing. That when you're traveling with an expert local guide, that's part of their responsibility, to make sure that you are eating in safe, clean restaurants, and that the food you are eating is, to a healthy standard, because they don't want you to miss out. They don't want you to be sick. That's the last thing they want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also another question that people will ask about the safety. And I think if we get these questions out of the way to start off with before we go on to the more exciting part of the presentation, then people can just then go, wow, my frustrations or my concerns have been dealt with, and now I can really get excited about going to this incredible country. With regards to the political and the safety issues in India, Kashmir,
Yes.
what is your standpoint? And, you know, from your company's point of view, how do you deal with that?
Okay, so I suppose there's two sides to that. The first one is the company's point of view. If there is a travel warning, we're an Australian company, so we're governed by the Australian government, so DFAT and Smart Traveller. If there is a travel warning that says do not travel and it's to an area where our tour runs, we cannot run the tour. Our insurances won't cover us, and we would offer clients a full refund. However, if at the time of travel, it is how it is now, where there are travel warnings out to certain areas of Kashmir, but it's not to the areas where this tour travels. The tour will run. As you know, I've just come back from there myself. In terms of safety and security and that sort of thing, Kashmir has only just reopened up earlier this year to the tourism industry, and personally, I think that it's the absolute best time to go because there's absolutely no tourists there at all at the moment. It's, you know, you're like the only person there pretty much, and it's great because you get to see all the locals the way that they have been for the past 30 years since it was, you know, previously open to tourists. But in terms of what to expect, because Kashmir is very close to the Pakistani border, and because they have had a lot of military issues over the past few years, there is a lot of armed security. They're on every corner, they're outside every building, they're at every hotel. Some people may find this a little bit confrontational, a little bit daunting because there is so much heavy military involvement. It's really a security measure. They are alarmed with guns. And as you sort of head more into the mountainous areas of Kashmir, you will see some of the fighter jets flying over, just doing border patrol and that sort of thing. Some people find that fascinating. Other people may find it a little bit daunting. But to be completely honest, there's so much security now, at the moment anyway, that if anything was to happen, I'm pretty confident it would be picked up straight away. So
yeah.
It's,
and it's also in lots of places in the world where that happens as well. So it's not just there. So I think we've overcome possibly the major objections. Do you think, Lisa?
Yeah, I think even with Kashmir and with India in general, I think really there's really only three things that I find, you know, when speaking to other travel agents or clients that are the real challenges for people. The first one is obviously the health issue. The second one is the culture shock, more because I don't think India is one of those countries that has extreme poverty and extreme wealth. There's really not a lot in between, and seeing the two living side by side is really confronting for a lot of people. But I suppose if you know to expect that, it's not going to be that much of a shock. And I suppose, you know, without sounding, I'm not quite sure what the right word is, but you need to sort of look past that and just take it in for what it is, because these people, the Indian people, are so happy. They're just, you know, even the kids that have nothing, they walk around in a little cloth and just play with sticks on the road. They're always smiling, they're always laughing. The people don't pity themselves or anything, like they're just happy with everything that they've got. And I think once you can sort of see past that, you really do, you will have a completely different experience. And then obviously security is the third one too. But I mean, the areas that we're going to be going through on this itinerary is Rajasthan, which is the wealthiest state in India, and then also up to Kashmir, which has so much money that, you know, you really probably wouldn't even see too much of the poverty-stricken side of India, which is really further down south.
Cool. Well, let's get going, Lisa.
Okay.
And you'll see some pictures of these really happy kids too. So let's start.
Yeah, all the children in India are very, very happy children. They were very grateful for everything that they have. So I suppose just running through the itinerary, we'll go through it day by day. I'll try not to speak for too long, but we'll go through it and give you guys a bit of an insight as to what to expect. So starting through Delhi, first day we'll arrive in Delhi, and it's really just an arrival day just to get your bearings. To, you know, if you are, you know, just absolutely taken in by this, Delhi's an absolutely fantastic city. Even just walking around the block when you arrive, just to familiarise yourself with the sights and sounds. Delhi is mayhem. The horns are beeping, there's people on bikes. It's actually awesome just to stand outside and just people watch. Even if it's for 5-10 minutes, you'll just see India, at its rawest, just as it is. Just it's absolutely amazing. It is one of the most vibrant cities in India, and you've got Old Delhi, which has all your old monuments, and then you've got New Delhi, which is full of your manicured lawns and your gardens and your big palaces and your mansions, and it's got a bit of everything for everybody. But so there's no sightseeing on the first day. It is just a day at leisure, and then an overnight. So the next morning, we head to Agra after breakfast, which is where the Taj Mahal is. Before getting to the Taj Mahal, though, we'll visit the Red Fort, which is just down the road. It's one of the former fortresses made of red sandstone, and it used to be the imperial city of the Mughal rulers. It's got absolutely stunning gardens, beautiful green lawns. It's got a whole lot of marble and all sorts of little intricate mosaics and hand carvings all the way through. It's absolutely huge. Its walls are 2.5 kilometres that go around it.
Wow.
And,
Lisa, have you got a photo of that? Because there's nothing coming up on the screen, Dal.
I don't know. I've got Taj Mahal. I don't have a picture of it, but I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What's on your? Can you?
So, is your screen? Are you going through the photos yet?
I've got Taj Mahal on my screen now.
Oh, I don't have it on mine. Oh well, let's keep going.
Well,
I'm sure they'll.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
You can see
Hello,
it?
Taj. Yes, I can see now.
All right, cool. All right, I'll keep going then. And then so after we finish at the Red Fort, we head to the Baby Taj before heading to the Taj Mahal itself for sunset. So the Taj Mahal, which is the image on your screen now, one of the world's most famous icons, is known as the teardrop on the face of eternity. It's actually a mausoleum that was built in memory of one of the Mughal emperor's third wives. It actually took 22 years to build, and it is absolutely impressive. All made from marble, all made from hand. The tomb is inside the middle of the Taj Mahal, which you can go inside. And just because, like, the colour of the Taj Mahal, it's white marble, but when the sun's setting, you just get the most amazing colour changes just reflecting off the surface of it. People just sit there for hours. And one of the things, when I've been to the Taj Mahal twice, and one of the things that I found fascinating when I was there, there's so many Indian tourists there as well who are just fascinated by this themselves. But being a Westerner, just sitting outside the Taj Mahal, just watching it, you get so many of the little Indian children that want to come over and have a photo with you, and they want to touch your hair and they want to touch your skin, and it's actually a really good place for, just for people watching and also to interact with the locals, because they're just so fascinated by the foreign tourists, and that in itself is just an absolutely fantastic experience, to sit in front of the Taj Mahal and have like these 5 little Indian children crawling all over you and hanging over your shoulders and that sort of thing too. So it's not just all about the Taj Mahal itself. There is an experience in itself, just sitting there with all the locals watching this amazing site.
Wow,
okay.
That's something that's definitely on my bucket list. So looking forward to going.
Yes.
Now, can you hear that noise?
No.
Or is it just on my end?
I can't hear anything except just you.
Okay, keep going, Lisa.
Okay. The following day, we return to Agra. Oh, sorry, let me correct myself. We return to Delhi, and this is when we start doing a little bit of our own Delhi sightseeing tour. So we visit India Gate, which is it's a sandstone gate that's been created, and it's got the names of the 49,000 Indian people that were involved in the First World War that actually got killed. So it's a memorial site. We visit the Parliament building, which is absolutely huge, very, very impressive, and Humayun's tomb, which is the image that's on the screen now. So Humayun's tomb was actually the inspiration for the Taj Mahal. This one was built first, and it's also a tomb as well. And this complex itself is absolutely huge. There's all sorts of mini palaces, huge, beautiful manicured gardens, water features, everything around this property. You can spend half a day here, really. But again, it's been handcrafted, made by hand. It's got sandstone, marble. It's just got some of the most beautiful artwork that you'll see in India. and you can walk all the way through it. You can go in and see the tombs, and you can just wander at your leisure around the gardens once you've finished your tour with your local guide. The following day, we transfer to the airport and fly up to Leh, Ladakh, which is in the state of Kashmir. We have included the cost of the internal flight for you, and one of the things that you need to realise is arriving into Ladakh, Leh, you are actually at altitude. So the first day we take very easy because some people are affected by altitude sickness. Just to give your body the best opportunity to acclimatise properly, we don't start our sightseeing until after lunch, so you do have a few hours just to acclimatise. And the sightseeing that we do is really just a brief city tour on that first day. It includes the Leh Palace and the Sankar Monastery, which is what's on your screen at the moment, and they're actually right in the centre of town. So
it hasn't come up on my screen, Dale.
No, nothing.
No, not yet.
Oh, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, there you are.
I'm there? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, it does. Leh itself, it's very dry and very rocky, but it just has the most amazing buildings, very Tibetan style, just built into the side of the cliffs. Yeah, very, very beautiful. Okay, so Leh itself is technically, well, it is Himalayas. So it is very rocky. It's very moonscape-like, I suppose, but very, very striking and one of the most photographic, picture-perfect regions of the world. So yeah, the first afternoon we just have a little bit of a brief city tour visiting the Leh Palace and the Sankar Monastery. The next day we actually visit one of the most famous monasteries in the Ladakh region, which is the Heems Monastery. And we actually get to witness the Heems Festival as well while we're there. The Heems Festival is one of the biggest and the most famous religious festivals in Ladakh. And it's not only attraction for tourists, but also for the local people as well. So it's as you can see in this picture here, it's all about colour, and it falls on the 10th.
I haven't got it on my screen, Dale.
I wonder what's happening.
Yep, there we are. So whatever you just did then, do it next time.
I just close out of the PowerPoint and go back into it.
Oh, that's a bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well that's all right. I'll do that if that's
yeah, that's so much colour there, isn't there?
Yeah, it is. It's full of colour, and yeah, it falls on the 10th day of the Tibetan lunar month. And basically, it's a celebration for the birth anniversary of one of the spiritual leaders who founded the Tibetan Tantric Buddhism. And the whole festival takes place in the courtyard of the monastery. And this monastery itself is actually the wealthiest one in the whole of India. It's got a rich collection of ancient remnants. It's got statues of Buddha made from copper, and a whole lot of stupas that are made from gold and silver as well. So it's yeah, it's pretty impressive. It's probably the #1 draw card in terms of monastery visits and that sort of thing in Ladakh itself. But you know, we've got the fantastic opportunity of also being able to witness this annually or once a year, this festival. So
is it the same time every year?
It's not this. It's roughly around the same time. It falls on the 10th day of the Tibetan lunar month, so we'll change slightly each year. Yeah, but we've got it timed in so that we've got it perfectly fitted in with our itinerary. So it is 12,000 feet above sea level. It's actually one of the highest settlements in the world. So even the surrounding scenery, the views that those people sitting on the roof would have behind them would be absolutely breathtaking.
You're not kidding.
Yeah, the monastery itself is actually home to over 1,000 monks. So even that in itself is fascinating. So with the itinerary, we'll obviously include your seating in a special area for everybody to have the best possible view to witness the festival. And it's basically,
would it be up on the top?
It would depend on numbers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But basically, the day is a mixture of traditional dance, prayers, and spiritual rituals as well. So something quite unique, something very fascinating. Something that not many people in the world would get to experience. So this little festival in itself
it's very special.
yeah, once in a lifetime opportunity.
Oh, awesome.
Did the next slide come up?
No, not yet.
All right, I'll exit out and go back in.
The joys of technology, eh?
I know. What about now?
Yep.
Yep.
The
Perfect.
colours and the detail in that, their robes and their headpieces are amazing.
I know, very intricate and all handmade as well. It's not
Wow.
out of a factory. So yeah, it's pretty impressive, pretty impressive. So we're up to day 6 of the itinerary now, and this is the first day that you'll actually get to attend the Kalachakra ritual dance, which is performed by the monks, which is what you can see on the screen there. So they basically, the monks perform the dance of the earth, where they do symbolic gestures with their hands and feet. They do a lot of prayers, and the dancing that they do with the music that is played by local instruments and that sort of thing, basically are to subdue the interfering spirits before they start their cleansing. So this in itself is just an absolutely unforgettable experience to witness as well. Something truly unique, very, very different, and it marks the start of the festival.
When you see things like that, you sort of wish that you were going sort of like tomorrow.
I know. Wrong time of year though now, to be covered in snow now and the roads will be closed.
Yeah, I know. This is such a beautiful photo.
Yeah. So having the Dalai Lama attend this festival, it's not an annual thing. He only attends once every 12 years, which is what makes this festival so special. The festival itself occurs annually, but having the Dalai Lama is only once every 12 years. So that's why July next year is going to be one of the biggest ones, especially as he is getting older.
Older.
Day 7 of your itinerary is the first time that you will get to see the Dalai Lama in this festival. So they do a lot of the initiation teachings, which is what is happening here in this image, with the young monks getting to do prayers and to meet with the Dalai Lama as well. The teachings generally go for most of the morning, and all guests, locals and tourists, are welcomed to participate and to join in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not to the extent where you'll get to meet and touch the Dalai Lama yourself, but they do like group meditation and spirituality sessions and that sort of thing that you are invited to participate in, and you can join the chants and that sort of thing too. So it is very spiritually moving. I think for a lot of people, even just to see the Dalai Lama himself in person would be quite moving.
Enough.
Yes. I mean, there'll be people that will be interested in this product that might not be into meditation and spirituality and that sort of thing, but they just have so many people are just fascinated and in awe with the Dalai Lama, and just to have the opportunity to see him in real life in the middle of a festival, in the middle of a monastery, in one of the most beautiful regions
on the highest places in the world.
Yeah. Like how many people have that opportunity, sort of thing. So I think that'd be a draw card in itself.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then after lunch, we head out and do a little bit more sightseeing. We go and visit the Shea Palace and the Thixi Monastery, which is...
Have you got that on your screen?
Yes. Yeah. I'll exit out and I'll go back in and see what happens.
So you can tell we're live. We're having all these little hiccups.
Okay, so
there it is.
You can see it? Yeah. So this was basically the summer residence for the kings of Ladakh. It's from the 17th century, so it's been around quite a while.
Wow.
And we just have the afternoon.
Look at those mountains.
Here.
Oh my God.
Yes, beautiful snow-capped mountains. So this is the scenery that you would expect in summer. Because you're so high, there will still be snow just on the tips of the mountain.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the weather will be dry, but at night it will be very cold because you're up so high.
Cold, yeah.
But in winter everything's just covered in snow. The roads aren't even open. So yeah, this would be the sort of the scenery that you'd be expecting.
Wow. How blessed are we to be in this world where we can experience these incredible things, eh?
I know, and it's just
Very
like,
special. Mm.
how is this still standing from that long ago? And this
Yeah,
landscape is so
yeah,
rugged and just, hit hard with hard, thick snow, and it's all still standing there. I'm pretty sure that they don't renovate
yeah.
that often. Um, but yeah, so
It'd
all
be a
this
task.
original, yeah, exactly. And then the following day we head to the Stock Gompa, which is, or the Stock Monastery, built from the 14th century, before we then head back and do further initiation teachings with the Dalai Lama, which on this day they
Yeah.
focus on lifelong empowerment. And we do like a prayer offering ceremony, and the prayers are for the long life of the Dalai Lama and that sort of thing. So again, a
Oh,
very, very
awesome.
moving session, I suppose, is what you could call it. Getting
Yeah.
to see the Dalai Lama again.
So how many days in total do we see the Dalai Lama?
That was
The
day
two or
two.
the three?
There's the
Yeah.
festival is for 3 days. The third day, you won't see him. He's only there for two.
Oh, wow.
So on the third
That's
day,
pretty precious.
yeah, on the third day is the third day of the initiation teachings, and the third day really focuses
Hmm.
on the symbolism of peace and tolerance and freedom, and they do a lot of readings about the festival itself and how it brings thousands of people together. They talk about the Buddhist religion, and there's also a lot of pilgrims that come for this festival as well. So the whole day is really more about all spheres of life coming together, and everybody being universal and everybody having the same message of peace and harmony and that sort of thing too. So
Mm.
um,
Um, can I just ask, Lisa,
yes,
what language will they speak?
they'll be speaking their language, their local
And do we
language.
have interpreters?
Our guide will be able to interpret, yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So they'll be speaking in Kashmir. They speak their own dialect. I can't remember what it's called. It's not Hindu or Hindi.
Hmm.
It's their own Kashmiri language. But yeah, our local guide will be a Kashmiri person, and they'll be
Yeah.
able to translate for the group.
Yeah.
So
Have you got the next picture up? Because I haven't got it.
I haven't flicked across to it though. No.
Oh,
Not yet.
okay.
Hold on. Let me have a look. Okay. Um, yeah, and so that's pretty much the end of the festival. You've got your 3 days
Hmm.
going through the rituals and the teaching processes and that sort of thing. And the ultimate aim of the festival, especially towards the end of it, is really to do with embarking on the path to enlightenment, and that's really what the Dalai Lama is all about, and that's sort of the end achievement that people want to try and head towards at the end of the festival. On day 10, we head out to one of the more rugged and remote regions of Ladakh, where we go to explore the Likya Monastery. And that evening, we actually stay near a riverbank that's just got absolutely beautiful surrounds. I don't actually have a picture of this, though. I thought I had one in here, but I don't. And then the following day, we head back via Sonmarg, which you should hopefully be able to see on your screen.
No, not yet, though. We'll have to get. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, so Sonmarg itself is about halfway between Leh and getting back to Srinagar, which is the capital of Kashmir.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sonmarg is absolutely beautiful. You've got your snow-capped mountains in the background. You've got glaciers above you that you can do treks up towards. You can go horse riding as well. There's lots of little villages. It is just starting to become a little bit more built up now that the tourist industry has started opening up again. When I was there in September, they were just starting to build a new hotel there, which was going to be the first hotel for Westerners.
Now, this is where you were, wasn't it?
Yes, I was here.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. There's beautiful like glacial rivers, so the water's just blue, just crystal clear blue. It's quite cold here, I have to say, just because you are quite high. If there's a bit of a breeze, it's a little bit icy. But the scenery itself is just absolutely beautiful. You're surrounded by pine trees, you've got snow, you've got the rugged mountains, you've got the water flowing down at the bottom of the valley, and you've got your glaciers behind you. And there's just little local villages that are popping up all over the place, people living in their tents. It actually, not that I've been to Mongolia, but it sort of reminded me as to what I would expect in Mongolia, just these little people in their big round tents and
Yeah.
horses grazing and just stunning, absolutely stunning scenery.
I've been lucky enough to go to Mongolia, and it does look a little bit. Mongolia's a little bit more barren. You
Yeah,
don't have the high mountains, or especially where I was. But yeah, same sort of the horses and the green fields and
yeah,
undulating landscape. It's beautiful.
yeah, yeah. So no, this area is probably one of the most scenic areas in Kashmir. Um, and so we've got a night here. We do a bit of sightseeing on the way back from Ladakh down to Sonmarg. We go past a couple of other monasteries and that sort of thing. And the following day we head from Sonmarg back to Srinagar, which is the capital of Kashmir. So
Hmm.
Srinagar is where the houseboats are, and we will be staying on the houseboats.
Oh, cool.
Can you see?
No,
Where's my?
still on with the horses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You see a lake?
I've got the lake.
Lake. Okay, so this is the waterways I was just mentioning that are at Sonmarg. Just absolutely
Hmm.
stunning, beautiful blue waters, just completely untouched, just beautiful, very clean as well. Can you see a picture of gardens now?
Not yet.
Alrighty.
It's a photographer's paradise, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Like these are just taken. Like I'm no photographer. I can't say that they're all my pictures, but some of them are. um,
Take the
I just
claim. Take
Yeah, I know.
the.
I do not have a fancy camera, and my pictures, well, half of them are going to be in our brochure. So, yeah,
Oh
it's
wow.
just you can't take a bad picture when you've got scenery like this. It's just absolutely beautiful. So the picture that's on the screen now should be a picture of the Mughal Gardens in Srinagar.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, okay. So when we return to Srinagar, we will be staying on the houseboats, which I'll get to shortly. I've got pictures of those further on. But we do sightseeing to the Mughal Gardens, there's about 3 or 4 different lots of gardens in Kashmir that are all
Hmm.
very similar. They've all got water features throughout them. They've just got absolutely beautiful gardens. They're very green, they're very bright, very colourful, just absolutely stunning. And these are just were the gardens of the Mughal rulers throughout India. Um, they're, they've got beautiful, stunning architecture. They've got a lot of I think two of the gardens were built as an abode of love for empresses. Um, and
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah. So, and they're all the gardens are situated on the banks of Dal Lake, and Dal Lake is where the houseboats are. And they've all got the Himalayan mountain ranges in the background. So they've just got an absolutely beautiful setting. And they've just been very, very well looked after. The people of Kashmir are extremely proud of their gardens. And also once a year, I think it's in April, they have their Tulip Festival as well, which is meant to be absolutely
Oh,
fantastic. Very similar to
that
in the Netherlands.
Holland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So we do a little bit of sightseeing, the Mughal Gardens. Then we go and visit a temple, which I don't have a picture of, but it's a Lord Shiva temple, and it's located at the top of a hill. You drive all the way up to the top, and from the top, you've got the temple. It's only quite small, but you can actually see down across Star Lake and all the houseboats, and you can see the Mughal Gardens and basically the whole of Srinagar from the top of this hill. It's just a fantastic bird's eye view of the capital of Kashmir. Get some fantastic pictures from up there as well. So we then head back to Dal Lake. Now let me make this picture somehow appear on your screen. Okay,
It's
so
beautiful.
this is Dal Lake. This is one of my pictures. I took this from the balcony of my houseboat, and this is literally looking straight across at other houseboats with the mountains behind. So I think I mentioned to Nilla once, when I was here in September, October. We were about a month and a bit short of seeing those lily pads covered in flowers. Apparently in the summer they're covered in bright pink and bright yellow lilies, and they just look absolutely fantastic with the houseboats and the mountains in the background. I mean, it looks stunning as it is.
That would be absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, so apparently they just start to die off at the beginning of August. So yeah, that would just be so beautiful in itself. But one thing with the houseboats, they don't actually move. They don't float around the lake. There's quite a lot of houseboats. There's about 1,600 on Dal Lake. And that little wooden yellow boat, which is called a shikara, that's basically your mode of transportation between your houseboat and between your vehicle that takes you around for your sightseeing. So it's a beautiful way to get to witness the lifestyle of people that live on these canals and on the lake. It's the only mode of transport. This is how people shop. This is how people get to school on the lake. And you just sit back on your cushions, and you've got your little man who paddles along for you, and you just listen to the sounds of the water and the birds, and you go through the little canals where there's shops and that sort of thing, and you see the locals loading up their wooden boats and doing their little bartering and bantering and that sort of thing. And it's really a different pace compared to the rest of India. It's just so quiet but also very, very beautiful, very, very different.
Yeah. That next photo that you'll put up with the woman is probably one of my most favourite. Is that yours?
No, no, I can't take the credit for this picture, unfortunately. But that, as I was just saying, this is how the locals live. This is how they make a living. They, a lot of people use the roots from lilies in their cooking, and, people transport everything, their fruit and veg and all sorts of things, just on these tiny little wooden canoes, and just you see them unloading on their little front steps that are half submerged in water.
Yeah, that picture just tells a story. You don't have to say anything. You just see it in her eyes, in her what she's carrying, and it's just the most stunning photo.
Yeah, it is.
It's really special, that one.
It just sums up Kashmir as to what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you look at that picture and you think, how could there be civil unrest in a place like this?
Yeah.
Look how beautiful it is, type of thing. So
yeah,
no, it's and the lake itself, like, you think of other places in the world that you travel to that have, a lake or whatever as a tourist feature, and they're just full of rubbish and they're polluted and they're filthy. The water's clear. You can see straight to the bottom. There's no rubbish. It's unbelievable how clean this is when people have the conception in their mind as to how filthy India is. It's not all like that. This is where people sort of need to look beyond the stereotypes that you hear people talking about.
Oh, wow. So show us where we're going to be staying.
So, okay, did that picture come up? No, probably not.
No, not yet.
Okay, let's do that.
I don't know, this thing's doing some strange things now. I don't know what it's doing.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is what the houseboats look like. They come in all different shapes and sizes. They're all made from wood, and they are the original houseboats back from the 80s. So don't expect 5-star bells and whistles. They are still how they were when there were tourists there 30 years ago, pretty much. But in themselves, they're very traditional. Everything is hand carved. All the furniture inside is probably hand carved. It's one of the wooden hand carvings is one of the big markets in Kashmir. The rooms are spacious, the bathrooms are clean, the food is local and it's traditional.
Yum.
And there's a lot. You'll never ever go hungry in India. They just do not stop feeding you. And the food is basic, but it's very tasteful. There's a lot of seafood as well. Being on the lake, there is a lot of fishing done too. But yeah, I mean, inside the houseboats themselves, they're beautiful. They're a little bit older, but they're very traditional. You've got your original wooden carved lounges with cushions. It's sort of inside. It sort of reminds me of like going to grandma's house, if that makes sense. It's beautiful, but it's antique and old. But it fits because that's just how it is there. I mean, there hasn't been tourists there for 30 years, so there hasn't been any need to, have all the mod
to do something.
And having something like that really sort of, like, if you went on a houseboat in Kashmir when you've just been in some of the most untouched regions of the world, and you walked in and had a flat plasma screen TV and a spa shower with a big rainfall shower head type of thing, it would take away.
Wouldn't be India.
No, it would take away the magic of the destination. So it's
exactly.
what you see on the outside is what you see on the inside, pretty much. It's
Yeah.
very traditional, very, very cool, very awesome experience.
Fantastic.
Okay, so
And the scenery in the next couple of slides are just mind-blowing.
yeah, so this is the saffron fields in Palgam. Hopefully that's come up on your screen now.
Is saffron cheap there?
Yes, it is. It's extremely cheap. You do just need to be careful bringing it back into Australia because a lot of it is just literally straight from the fields. It's just been dried. So sometimes it's not necessarily in proper sealed bags, which quarantine likes to take them off you. If you buy it from a proper shop, it is a little bit more expensive than buying it directly from the local farmers. But then at least it is sealed properly to be able to bring it back into Australia. Yeah, I think we looked at like a tiny little satchel and it was around the equivalent of about $4.
Oh, wow.
That was like the size.
Here you pay $4 for a strand.
Yeah, I know, and that was about the size of like your little coin bags that you get at the bank. So yeah, it was not expensive at all. Yes, and so then we've got our day trip out to Palgam, which is known as the Valley of the Shepherds. The drive out to Palgam, it's quite long. It's about 3.5 hours, but this is the scenery that you're driving through. It is absolutely breathtaking. The drivers are really good. If you want to stop for photo opportunities, tell them, they'll pull over. You see some amazing scenery in Kashmir, people herding goats on the street. You see gypsies on the move. You see people drying rice. And the Kashmiri people are really, really friendly. They're very approachable, and they're more than happy to have photos for you. They don't ask for money or anything. So, yeah, the scenery in itself is just absolutely spectacular. When you get to Palgam, we have lunch there on arrival and basically do a trip down to one of the nearby lakes, which offers you fantastic views of the Himalayan mountains. It's reflective in the water because the water's just so crystal clear. It's like a mirror. It's very much
Is that on the next slide? The lake?
The next slide is Gulmarg.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, which I'll get to in a sec. But yeah, there's lots of Palgam. The main draw card for people to go to Palgam is really driving through the saffron fields on the way there, because just the colour, that vibrant yellow, contrasting with
beautiful,
and that sort of thing is stunning. When you're in Palgam itself, it's very much a pilgrimage city. There is a temple that people come to see a year, and people just book out the whole town just to go up and see. I think it's the Shiva temple, but it's very much it's a mountainous town with a river that runs through it, and it's just stunning for bushwalks and trail walks and that sort of thing. Even just to walk along the riverbank and just see locals washing their clothes and just
oh wow,
yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Sounds like a journey where you actually go back to basics.
It is, in a way, it is. I mean, you've still got all your mod cons at your accommodation and everything, but the destination itself is very untouched. You know, a lot of you don't see brand new cars cruising down the street. You still see people with horse and cart and their wooden wheels sort of plonking along.
Very special.
Yeah, 40 people squashed in the back of a truck sitting in the tray type of thing. So yeah. It's great. It's absolutely amazing. So this next image that's up now, this is Gulmarg. Gulmarg's actually a ski resort during the winter. So it's equipped with chairlifts and gondolas or cable cars, whatever you like to call them. And this image here is of the little township that it's got. It's not very big, but it's also got a golf course here, which is the highest golf course in the world.
I think John might be playing on that.
So
I think he'll get very excited about watching his ball go many, many, many more meters than they do here.
yeah, it'd be quite interesting. It's quite a large. It's 18 holes, so it's a full course. But the town itself, I mean, winter is really its draw card because it's a ski village. In summer, most people go here because the cable car is still open. The cable car will take you up to the top of the mountain and you just get Himalayan scenery, basically. Just absolutely breathtaking, brilliant snow-capped scenery.
You could be anywhere in Europe with this scene, couldn't you?
Yeah, it actually looks very Swiss or very Austrian.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is. It's all about the scenery here. You can do horse rides and trail rides and that sort of thing here too. There's a lot of local guides who do hikes to waterfalls and that sort of thing, depending on what clients are interested in too. We haven't got horse riding or anything included in our package, because it's really up to the individual as to how they want to experience it. Some people are quite happy just to stand there and take in the scenery, and other people want to be more active and go hiking, and so we've really left it open to the individual on this day.
It's really going to be a tour of many scintillating lots of experiences, isn't it?
It is.
Definitely.
It is. It really is, especially because you've got the combination of not only the two festivals, but also Kashmir itself only being recently reopened to tourism, as well as combining it with places like Delhi and Agra, which are really, they've been open for years, and they're used to having tourists everywhere, and they know how to cater for it. Whereas in Kashmir, it's also very new. It's very quiet. It's not like every 5 minutes there's 20 coaches going past you on the road. Like, it's still very untouched, which is great way to experience the country.
Yeah.
And then
a little secret.
Yes, exactly. Just like Bhutan a few years ago.
Yes.
Okay, so day 16, after we finish up for our last night on a houseboat in Srinagar, we take our domestic flight back to Delhi. So on arrival in Delhi, we head into the city centre for lunch, and after lunch we visit the Qutb Minar, which is the mosque that's on your screen at the moment. It's the biggest one in the whole of India, and it's quite impressive. It's a bit like Venice in terms of there's pigeons absolutely everywhere, but it is a mosque that you can go inside. You do need to obviously cover up, ladies, no shoulders and clothes below the knee, and you need to cover your hair as well. But there are scarves and everything available to hire. But this is really one of the most impressive architectural monuments in Delhi itself. It's a must-see for anybody that heads to Delhi. Just the sheer size of this picture does not even do it justice. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. It is humongous. And again, it's, kids bring soccer balls and they kick the ball around in the courtyard, and it's, again, just another place just to see the locals just being themselves, and, the kids might be running around while mum and dad are inside praying, and it's just a really great opportunity to see the Indian culture just doing their thing. We then visit the Lotus Temple, which I don't have an image of. It's a brand new temple that's just opened up a few years ago now. And then that evening we've got dinner at a local restaurant before transferring to the airport for your flight back to Australia. So that's pretty
sad.
Much. Yeah. And then you can book your next trip back.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the itinerary. Did you want me to go through a little bit about the guides and drivers and that sort of thing that we use? And
I think we've sort of covered all that. You were saying that you've got local experienced people, and we're going to be in fantastic hands, and this is just an incredible journey that you've put together, not only for ourselves, but also for your company. So well done, Lisa. It's I think you've touched on a lot of incredible and unique experiences, which is really something that both your company and Travel with Purpose is really wanting to do. Yeah. So, okay, I'll just click back onto myself.
Yeah.
So again, thank you, Lisa. In summarising the experiences that we'll have together is basically we're going to the rooftop of the world, really, and we're seeing the Dalai Lama, who only comes to to the Kalachakra festival. Is that right?
Yes, that's it.
Every 12 years to initiate the monks, and we'll be able to see the Dalai Lama for 2 days in a row, which is going to be, as you said before, Lisa, just to be in his presence is going to be an incredible, incredible experience.
Yes.
So we're going to have a bit of the mind, the body, and the spirit, I think, on this journey. I think we're just going to be mind-blown with all the amazing scenery. Our bodies are going to probably be stretched with the altitude, and, it looks like we're going to be climbing up a few steep hills by the looks.
Yeah, there'll be steps involved too.
Yeah, and for those that are little are interested in the spiritual side of things, you know, your spirit is going to be filled, or your soul or your heart is going to be filled with incredible experiences. So is there anything else, Lisa, that you would like to say about the itinerary or the journey from your point of view? As you said, you've actually been there. You know, what was the thing that really stood out for you as something that was very special? And I'll just click on to you.
Yeah, sure. I think just, I mean, I obviously haven't experienced the festival with the Dalai Lama myself, but even just India and Kashmir as their own destinations are just absolutely mind-blowing. They're just, well, India, I've traveled quite extensively myself. I've traveled to nearly 65 countries, and India is number one on my list. It has been for quite a few years, or from the first time that I went there. Every time I go back, it just absolutely blows me away. There's just so many layers to the country, the culture, the people, the scenery, the food. It's just, it's never ending. Every day you're constantly impressed and surprised and blown away and shocked, and it, as I said earlier, it really just plays on every possible emotion, some emotions you didn't even know that you would ever experience, but it's just, it is an experience in itself. And I think just compounded with those two festivals that we've been able to incorporate into this itinerary for Nilla, like even the destinations on its own without those festivals are pretty impressive, but to be able to tie them in with getting to witness two cultural festivals and seeing the Dalai Lama in person, not only, you know, at a glimpse, but getting to sort of be in his presence for hours while he's doing his teaching and prayers and meditation. I think that's just, it really is a once in a lifetime opportunity that many people won't ever have the opportunity to do. I mean, he's here for this festival once every 12 years, and that in itself is just, it's so unique. It's not like you can go to the Vatican and see the Pope every Wednesday morning when he does his papal audience or anything like that. This is the Dalai Lama doing his thing in his pure form with not only pilgrims but local people and tourists as well. So yeah, I think the itinerary is just absolutely impressive as it is, without, you know, sort of saying that my product is awesome, but
You can say that.
It really is. It really is. And as I said, you won't find this product on offer with anybody else in Australia. I mean, this is really what we do. We specialise in doing things that are outside the square and that are above and beyond, and that really are for those people who have been there, done that, and want something more. And, you know, they don't want to sightsee out a coach window. They want to be hands-on and experience really the type of culture and that sort of thing that countries like India are just, you know, overflowing with. So yeah, that's my little spiel in a nutshell, I suppose.
Oh, cool.
To sign off.
Yeah, awesome. So you've heard it from a very passionate, knowledgeable person who's actually experienced Kashmir just in recent times. So along with going to an incredible part of the world, seeing the Dalai Lama, being part of the festivals, being able to stay on a houseboat, being able to be part of the local people, and to see the Taj Mahal. There's a few bucket list items in this little itinerary. So if you'd like to know more, please go to www.travelwithpurpose.com.au, download the itinerary, make an appointment online to speak to me, or email me. Just let me know what questions you may have, and John and myself would love to have you join us in July. The date out of Australia is the 4th of July, and it's for 19 days or 17 days. I can't remember. Is it 17 days,
The
Lisa?
itinerary is 16, but with flight times it'll be 17, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be 17 days. So this could be the 17 days that could change your life forever. It could be the 17 days that you'll experience things that you've never experienced in your life before. It's the 17 days that will probably be in your heart forever and ever, and come back and tell everybody about how incredible this experience was. So I'd like to say goodbye to you all. Lisa, thank you so much for your time, your experience, your passion, and most of all for putting this incredible journey together for us. I don't think there's anything else that we need to say. Do you have any parting words, Lisa?
No, just I hope that everybody finds this video as inspiring as what it has been, well, to make, I suppose, but images can only say so much. You really need to get over there and experience it yourself. It really is an absolutely unbelievable itinerary, something that really is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Okay, so I will say goodbye properly now. And please excuse the bungles and the slides not working, and if there's anything else that you noticed that we didn't do. It's our first one, and it was very exciting, and I'm really, really proud to be able to present what we at Travel with Purpose will be delivering you from here on in. So have a wonderful day. Bye for now.